What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday. It is now May the 11th of 2025. So do you remember that asshole Peter Strzok that investigated Donald Trump back in 2016 for all the Russia collusion bullshit? Well, anyway, on Thursday, May the 8th of 2025, there was the Senate Appropriations Committee hearing where Senator John Kennedy was asking questions. Oh, yeah, there's the dickhead right there, Peter Strzok. I'll go over that in a minute. So this committee hearing happened on Thursday where the FBI director, Kash Patel, was testifying before the committee, and Senator John Kennedy was asking him some questions regarding the Peter Strzok situation. And if you remember going way back to 2016, he was having an affair with Lisa Page at the time, who I think was also working in the FBI. Well, anyway, there was apparently a settlement that was reached with Peter Strzok and Lisa Page between them and the federal government. So Lisa Page, she quit before she had a chance to get fired. Peter Strzok, on the other hand, he did get fired from the FBI. He was like a special agent. He was overseeing the Russia collusion nonsense. And the amount of money that he received from the federal government for this settlement is absolutely appalling. The same with Lisa Page. Now, I just heard about this just today. So even though this did happen a few days ago, so I'm kind of late to the party, but I'll go ahead and let some of this play out. This is on Forbes breaking news. I first found it on X, but I figured on YouTube the quality would probably be a little bit better than over on X. I don't know why, but videos over there tend to be not quite as high quality as they play here on YouTube.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Yes, Senator.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice.
Oh, okay.
The Inspector General.
Okay, so she worked for the Justice Department. I thought she worked for the FBI. So, all right. Forget I said that, I guess.
Found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted
Oh, hell yeah, they did.
Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Miss Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's not ever going to become president, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Huh?
And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it.
We'll stop it.
Did I read that correctly?
You
Oh,
did,
yeah.
Senator.
Okay.
Fucking
Now,
A.
Miss Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired.
He did get fired.
And predictably, they filed a lawsuit.
Of course they did.
Because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee.
Well, I would say that it's extremely easy to divorce your spouse in America today, thanks to, I think that was back in the 1980s with President Reagan, the whole no-fault divorce bullshit. So yeah, you actually, it's easier to get divorced than it is to do just about anything else, legally speaking. I mean, you could just file for divorce and not even give a reason. You just say, I don't know, I just don't want to be married anymore. Well, can you give any reason? No, I just don't wanna. I don't wanna. I know I made a commitment before God and made a promise to join with my husband or wife together under holy matrimony, but, I just don't care anymore. I just, I just don't feel like being married anymore. Yeah, it's pretty much as easy as that these days. But anyway, all right, I'll digress.
Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million?
$1.2 million. $1.2 million. And Lisa Page got how much?
Page $800,000.
She got $800,000. Peter Strzok was fired from the FBI. Lisa Page, she quit before she had a chance to get fired from the DOJ. And, they just weren't treated fairly. I mean, I know we said a bunch of evil stuff about Trump. I know we said a bunch of things that really weren't true. And I know that we threatened to stop him from becoming president, whatever the hell that meant. But we were wrongfully let go, even though Lisa Page, she fucking quit. She wasn't fired, she quit. When do you have the right to sue your employer because you quit? They didn't let you go. They didn't probably threaten her, at least not anything she could probably prove. Plus, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The federal government settled, which means there was no discovery, I don't believe. There was no court process. There was no legal proceedings or anything. They reached a settlement. It's because they're all in on it together. It's all about the D.C. politics. You know, the fact that, what is it, like 90% plus of the federal employees who live and work in Washington, D.C., of course, they vote Democrat. And because, you know, despite Donald Trump being a lifelong Democrat for the vast majority of his life, he ran as a Republican. So, now he's evil. Oh, he's pure evil now. Orange man, evil. Anyway.
To settle a lawsuit.
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
Oh, yeah,
The
who?
prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that asshole got $1.2 million. This asshole right here. And I've actually got an exchange between him and Representative Trey Gowdy back in 2018. I don't think I'm going to let the whole thing play out. I'll probably just play a couple of minutes of it, but it's a pretty heated exchange, that's for sure. And I remember when this happened. I actually watched this whole hearing back when it first came out. Most of these committee hearings, they are boring. I mean, they show them on C-SPAN, so that should tell you enough. But this hearing in particular was actually quite interesting. And anyway, here, let me go over a little bit of information on this, just in case if you don't know who this dude is. Peter Paul Strzok II. Let's see. He's a former United States Federal Bureau of Investigation agent. He was the Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division and led the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. elections. Previously, he had been the chief of the division's counter-espionage section and led the investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a personal email server. Yeah, okay, so that's not biased at all. So, dude was hell-bent on stopping Trump, but when it came to Hillary Clinton, oh no, nothing to see here. What, bleach bit? I don't know what bleach bit is. Acid wash, using hammers to smash up laptops and hard drives and all. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. That's well, okay, if that happened, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Or whatever, I'm not going to get into all that crap. But anyway, in June and July of 2017, Strzok worked on Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation into any links or coordination between Donald Trump's presidential campaign and the Russian government. In July of 2017, Mueller removed Strzok from the Russia investigation after the text message exchanges between Strzok and FBI lawyer Lisa Page, which is what Senator Kennedy just alluded to. Let's see, which contained criticisms of Trump and his supporters. News of the text messages led Trump, Republican congressmen, and right-wing media to speculate that Strzok participated in a conspiracy to undermine the Trump presidency. I mean, I don't know if they really had any tangible evidence that he actually did anything specific to undermine his ability to win. But, I mean, they did wiretap the Trump campaign headquarters. I'm sure he had a hand in it. I mean, they keep throwing out Barack Obama's name with regard to that because he was the president at the time. So, but I'm pretty sure he probably had a hand in that. So anyway, August 10th, 2018, FBI Deputy Director David Bowditch, I have no idea, fired Strzok for the text messages after the FBI employee disciplinary office had recommended that Strzok only be suspended for 60 days and demoted. This dude is as biased as all hell, as well as probably 90% of the federal bureaucracy that works in D.C., by the way. On August 6th of 2019, Strzok filed a wrongful termination suit against the FBI and U.S. Department of Justice, asking to be reinstated and awarded back pay. He asserted in the suit that his text messages were, quote, protected political speech, end quote. Dude, I mean, yeah, for everyday Americans, you would be 100% correct, but not under your capacity as the lead investigator into this whole Trump collusion bullshit. I mean, it's textbook bias, you know, at the very, very least. And yeah, a complete conflict of interest all across, across the board. Conflict of interest all up and down. Anyway, and that the termination violated his First Amendment rights. In September of 2020, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt published Strzok's book, Compromised: Counterintelligence and the Threat of Donald J. Trump. Yeah, because he's not biased. Of course he's not biased. That's why they gave him $1.2 million. He was wrongfully fired. His book became a New York Times and Washington Post bestseller. Not that that really means anything. Strzok is currently an adjunct professor at Georgetown University. He also co-hosts a podcast. Ooh. I'm sure so many dozens of people listen to that. So anyway, that's the skinny on Wikipedia. It goes into more detail about his career and all that nonsense. So special counsel investigation, could read through it. It's unnecessarily and unbelievably long. I mean, look at all this. It's absolutely ridiculously long. Now, I did read through just a little bit of it. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail about this, but this is the Mueller special counsel investigation. So it said that the investigation concluded in March 2019. The report concluded that the Russian Internet Research Agency's social media campaign supported Trump's presidential candidacy while attacking Clinton's. I mean, I don't know what that has to do with the Trump campaign or Trump himself. I mean, the Russian government, they could support and they could denounce anybody they want. I mean, what the fuck does that have to do with us? It has nothing to do with Trump or his campaign. That's all Russia shit. I'm sure that Russia was either against Obama or for Obama. I'm sure that they've probably been trying to persuade the American people, or they tried to dig into our election system in one way or another, probably going all the way back to the beginning of the Cold War. I'm sure they've been interfering with shit since day one. Anyway, on potential obstruction of justice by Trump, the investigation, quote, does not conclude that the president committed a crime, as investigators would not indict a sitting president per an Office of Legal Counsel opinion. But when you look down here, though, in July of 2019, Mueller testified to Congress that a president could be charged with obstruction of justice or other crimes after he left office, which is a general blanket statement. I mean, he didn't say President Trump. He said a president could be charged, but I don't really see the point why he would even have to say that because, I mean, they concluded that he didn't commit a crime. And this was a massive waste of taxpayer dollars. I think that the Mueller investigation, I'm sure it's in here. I mean, they wrote a freaking novel that comprises this Wikipedia article, but I think it cost something like, $30 million, something like that, to do this investigation, which went way longer than it really should have. I mean, look at all these sources. Over 300. Well, damn near. All right, anyway, I don't want to waste any more time. So this is the exchange between Rep. Trey Gowdy, who is not in the House of Representatives anymore. He's a Republican representative from South Carolina. He's not the chairman. He's the chairman's right-hand man. I don't know if they call him the deputy chairman. I know there's a name for it. But anyway, this was back in 2018, and this is when Peter Strzok was in the hot seat. So let's take a listen.
Just so the record's clear, because it's been a little while, I didn't ask you the content of those interviews. I didn't ask you the names of who you interviewed. I asked you whether or not you interviewed anyone.
Yeah, this is in regard to the Russia collusion and all that. Peter Strzok, I believe, has already been fired at this point. Yeah, I believe he was. Again, this is in 2018. Let me see here. So just real quick, just for a little bit of context. So the text messages they exchanged, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, Lisa asked Peter Strzok if Trump isn't going to win, right? And then Peter replies with, no, he won't. We'll stop it. And those texts were exchanged while Peter was the lead investigator for the FBI digging into Trump's campaign in 2016. We already went over that. Lisa eventually quit the FBI or the DOJ before getting fired. Peter was fired. The settlement was $1.2 million for Peter, $800,000 for Lisa Page. So, according to FBI Director Patel, the only person who could have approved that settlement was the Attorney General at the time, who was Merrick Garland. Which, by the way, Obama selected Merrick Garland if you look back in your history, recent history, back when Obama was in office I want to say it was in 2016. Actually, I got the exact date. March 16th of 2016, Obama selected Merrick Garland for the Supreme Court of the United States. So if you want to find at least one good thing that Mitch McConnell did for us, I mean, in my opinion, he'd be pretty hard-pressed to find a whole lot of good that he's done for us. I mean, he's been more, I don't know if I go as far as to call him an obstructionist, but he sure as hell drags his feet a lot. But if I could point to one thing that Mitch McConnell did for us, it was keeping Merrick Garland the hell out of the Supreme Court. Because Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate Majority Leader, he refused to hold confirmation hearings until after the 2016 election. And the Supreme Court nomination was held off until after Trump won, of course. He won in 2016, took office January 2017. The Democrats were probably furious to some extent, but at the time, they fully expected Hillary Clinton to win. We all knew it. Even if you look back at election night, the whole stage that Hillary Clinton's campaign set up, the whole stage was in the shape of the United States. They probably spent like $100 million on that stupid party. And by the end of the night, they were all crying in the crowd and everything and sobbing. And it was kind of satisfying, if I may say so. But anyway, so yeah. So they thought Hillary was going to win. So it really, at the time, they really didn't think it was really going to matter that much. Even Peter Strzok, I'm sure he was absolutely certain that Hillary Clinton was going to win in 2016. But I don't know, the real world, sometimes it reveals things that are stranger than fiction. And Trump ended up winning. So he got to pick the next Supreme Court justice, who was Neil Gorsuch. And his confirmation hearing, yeah, that happened. And, Democrats were obviously furious. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic here. But I'll just go ahead and let this play out. And let's go from there, I guess. See what happens.
From July the 31st until August the 8th.
2018, by the way.
It's interesting that the FBI will tell us no interviews were conducted before July 31st. That apparently doesn't impact an ongoing probe. But between July 31st and August 8th, it does. Here's the good news. I already know the answer to it. I went and looked at the file. The first interview that I can find is on August the 11th of 2016, which is 11 days after it began, which makes me wonder, on August the 6th, so you hadn't interviewed anyone.
Face, dude.
You're investigating this alleged Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. You're the lead investigator. You originated the investigation. You're the point of contact. You drafted the document. And here you are before you've interviewed a single solitary witness saying F Trump. Then that same day, your
F Trump,
colleague, Lisa Page, wrote, "Maybe you're meant to protect the country from that menace." And you responded, "I can protect the country at many levels." We're not even a week into an investigation that you originated, approved, were the contact for. You hadn't interviewed a single solitary soul until August 11th, and you're already promising.
By the way, have you noticed? Look at this douchebag back here with this smug-ass looking smile. I mean, this dude looks like a fucking troublemaker if I ever saw one.
To protect the country from that menace.
How many millions of dollars do you think that dude squandered from the federal government?
You still hadn't interviewed anyone.
Freaking bureaucrat.
You're 8 days into your Russian collusion with the Trump campaign investigation.
By the way, I remember watching this. This was his attorney, Peter Strzok's attorney. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was like his lead counsel. I'm pretty sure this guy over here on the other side was also his attorney. He brought like 5 or 6 different friggin' attorneys with him. And throughout this hearing, not just the exchange with Trey Gowdy, but with other representatives that were asking him questions, this dude in particular, he would lean up behind him over and over again, whisper shit into his ear, and then he would say something like, "I plead the fifth," or "The FBI's instructed me not to answer that question." There was a lot of stonewalling from this dude's part, but look at his smug-ass face, dude. If this dude doesn't look evil, I don't know who does.
And you got another text from your colleague, Lisa Page. "Trump's not ever going to become president, right?
Right?
You replied, "No." No, he's not. We'll stop.
We'll stop it.
By the time you promised to stop him from becoming president on August the 8th, how many interviews had you conducted?
Mr. Gowdy, so two answers to that. One, with regard to how many interviews had or had not been conducted.
That would be
I've
zero.
been directed by counsel
Probably.
for the FBI not to answer that question.
Oh.
Second, sir, I think it's important to take those
Convenient.
texts in the context of how they were written and what they meant.
And
Really?
and someone may ask you that question, Agent Strzok, but I didn't.
Nope.
I asked you how many people you interviewed before you wrote it. If you want to get into context, let one of my other colleagues do that with you. Here's what I want to know. Who's the he and he's not?
Oh, we know who he is.
He is then candidate Trump.
So
Oh, he said it.
when you said no, Donald Trump's not, in connection with the question going to become president, what's the it?
We'll stop it.
Stop it.
We'll stop it.
Chairman Gowdy, that text needs to be taken in the context.
I'm
Uh-oh.
asking, look, if you want to
Don't
have
get
a debate
emotional,
over
dude.
a two-letter word, we're going to have to do that some other time. What and who did you mean by it?
Mr. Gowdy, as I've stated, that text was written late at night in shorthand.
When it was written, I don't care whether it was long.
I was feeling tired.
About any of that. I want to know what it meant, Agent Strzok.
It would be his candidacy for the presidency,
wasn't that
and
tough?
my sense that the American
it's not that tough.
population would not vote him into office.
Right.
Oh, well, they sure as shit did, though, didn't they, dude?
Well, I'm trying to cut through the
testimony
chase,
is
explain the text.
The
I
will
wrote
is
it.
the American people. Is that right? That's your testimony. The will stop it. You were speaking on behalf of the
Behalf of
American
all
people.
of
Is
us.
that correct?
Behalf of
Mr.
America.
Gowdy, what my
Bullshit.
testimony is, and what I said during extensive asking of this question during my prior interview is, I don't recall writing that text. What I deny writing
Well,
the
you
text,
did.
what I
It's on
can
your
tell
fucking
you
phone,
is
dude.
That text in no way suggested that I or the FBI would take any action to influence the candidacy of
Agent
candidate.
Strzok, that is a
But why would you say, no, he won't, as in, no, he won't win? We'll stop it. Because she wasn't just asking, Lisa Page wasn't just asking him, like, Trump's not going to win, right? She wasn't asking him as her boyfriend. She was obviously asking him as the lead investigator on this whole collusion nonsense that was going on. And he's like, of course not, honey. We'll stop it. It's crystal clear. But I get the stupid word games that they play, and it's 10 times worse when these hearings are happening. All the answers are so damn loaded, and they're able to skirt by this and skirt by that, and it's just ridiculous.
fantastic answer to a question nobody asked.
Yeah, Mr.
My
Gowdy, you asked what I
question to
meant.
you is the
Chairman, witness
will.
going to be permitted to answer
You
the question
said-
posed?
Here comes the arguments. That was, I don't know who it was on the other side who interrupted. One of the Democrat colleagues, they're like, is he going to be allowed to answer the question? They like to do that a lot. If you're not familiar with these hearings, they do that all the time. They like to jump in and interrupt a lot, probably because Trey Gowdy is on a roll, and that's just one of their ways of just trying to break his stride, trying to break his concentration or whatever. But anyway, I think he's out of time anyway, but...
We look forward to that.
Mr. Gowdy's now, and he will not be interrupted by others.
So your
His time has expired, Mr. Chairman.
His time expired, Mr. Chairman.
Half minutes.
Your Honor, his time expired. Uh-oh. Now what's going on? Well,
tough for me to get through it.
you got the gist of it. I mean,
Your testimony
there
a
he is
couple
up
weeks
there.
ago was the we meant the American people, which I found confusing.
I'll give it another minute.
Because on November the 7th, which is the day before the election, you said this. You were concerned that those same American people that you were speaking on behalf of might actually elect Donald Trump president.
Right.
So you said, OMG, this is effing terrifying. I think we know what effing means.
Fucking.
Pretty sure we have OMG down
think.
too. What was terrifying about those same American people you trusted to stop him in August, not stopping him in November? What was so terrifying about that, Agent Strzok?
I didn't want to get
I
arrested.
do not have a copy of the transcript. We have not been provided that transcript.
Because he's a
Oh,
corrupt
it's
SOB.
not the
He
transcript,
didn't want to
it's the
get...
text.
Mr. Gowdy, what I would say in that is, one, I was not referring to the American electorate at all. The American electorate, I respect in their decisions, and their right to vote is absolutely a
Well, then how come you were going to stop him?
No time did I insult or call into question the judgment or the power of the American electorate. What I was
Trey Gowdy's got
expressing in that
something.
text is my personal
You know he's
belief
about to
and my
fire off
personal
an
sense
atomic
of
bomb.
how I saw and
Maybe,
what
I don't know.
believed in the potential upcoming
And
administration.
see, that's what I find so confounding, because in August you blamed the we on the American people, that the American people would stop it, because you don't want it to be you and Lisa
Mr.
Page,
Chairman,
and you
it's
don't
Right.
want it to be the
I'm not
FBI.
given 5 minutes to answer.
Lady,
questions.
shut up.
We have indulged this harassment 9 minutes.
Yeah, because Peter Strzok, he leans Democrat. He's a progressive. He's a lefty kind of guy. So obviously everyone on the left side of the aisle, they're all gonna try to run cover for him and protect him and coddle him and keep him nice and cozy in his little bitty bubble. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. To be fair, Trey Gowdy is out of time. I think he is like 3-4 minutes out of time. But I mean, he's one of the chairmen, so he kind of gets that luxury.
Chair,
Judiciary and the oversight committee.
Oh, well, why don't you cry about it?
the gentlewoman will
Why don't you
suspend
cry
the
about it?
chair in
Wah.
agreement with the ranking members of both committees agreed that there would be
Like,
liberality
I miss my nap
in the
time.
questioning
I'm
by
pissed.
the chairman and the ranking members of each committee. The gentleman will continue.
What I find
Ooh,
confounding-
they're gonna let him go.
That liberality on every one of our questioning.
Oh, shut up.
What I find confounding, Agent
Yeah,
Strzok,
put that microphone away.
we're counting
Keep your
on
mouth
the
shut.
American people. That was the we you referenced in August when you said we'll stop it. But
Uh-huh.
the American people didn't stop it.
No.
Actually won. So
He
you
won.
in March of 2017.
Fucking A.
And you're already talking longingly about him resigning. And then we go to the day that Special Counsel Mueller, well, before we go to that, that's March of 2017. March of 2016, you wrote, God, Hillary should win 100 million to 0. And I'm assuming Hillary would be former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton?
That's correct.
Huh.
In March of
Okay.
2016, weren't you investigating her for potential mishandling of
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Had you interviewed her yet?
No.
No.
Had you interviewed more than 30 other witnesses that wound up being interviewed?
I would have to check the case file, but I'll take your representation. That's
Well, if she had said something incriminating in your interview that took place months later of her, would she have won 100 million to 0 then?
likely not. No.
Well, then why wouldn't you wait until the investigation was over before you have her the nominee and winning a general election against an opponent that hadn't even been named yet? 100 million to 0?
Ooh.
That's how bad she should win?
Mr. Gowdy, those personal expressions of
No, I'm not
observing the
biased.
process of the
I'm not
presidential
biased.
primaries had no bearing on my actions of any investigation to include the
Yeah,
investigation of
right.
Secretary Clinton.
You couldn't think of
Or
a
anybody
Yeah,
else.
okay.
Sir,
You
if
couldn't
I
think
may,
of a single person that would not vote for Hillary Clinton for president? 100 million to 0?
Right.
so
Right.
It's clearly hyperbole, which I.
Well, let's say it was hyperbole. Let's divide it
It's
by
still pretty
10.
extreme, dude.
How about we say it was hyperbolic and divide it by 10? 100 million divided by 10, I'm pretty sure.
10 million.
0 divided by 10 is still 0. You couldn't think of a single solitary person that was going to vote for her for president before you interviewed her and while you were supposed to be investigating her.
Right.
Congressman,
Because that's what he was
clearly
saying
that's
about
not the
Trump.
truth. Clearly, I could
He's not
envision
gonna win.
millions of Americans who are likely and did vote for then.
Well, you wrote it.
My point, sir.
Did you
my
write
point-
it? Did you write that
I
text?
did write that, sir.
Okay.
Did
Were
you
under
write
duress?
that
Political
text?
expression engaging in hyperbole.
Were you under duress?
Asked and answered over and over again.
The gentlewoman will suspend. The gentleman from South Carolina controls the time.
All right,
Nice.
we're going to go into one other time period. May 17th.
He's like 8 minutes over.
2017. Bob Mueller is appointed. Your friend Jim Comey's been fired. He's already leaked.
All right. I gotta end it. I don't want to drive this on too long because this probably does go the entire 15 minutes. But anyway, you get the gist of it. This was on CBS News. It was back on. Oh, let me give you the exact date. It was in 2018, July 12th. Let's see. Rep. Trey Gowdy questions FBI. Peter Strzok and fierce grilling. So yeah, you can watch the rest of it if you want to. I actually didn't even want it to go more than like 3 or 4 minutes, but yeah, it was a pretty excellent exchange. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all I got for you. And yeah, Peter Strzok, he received $1.2 million from our federal government, from you, from me, from all the tax-paying citizens of America. We all pulled our resources together and gave him $1.2 million. So he can go off into the sunset and enjoy his little podcast and whatever else the hell he wants to do. Same with Lisa Page with her $800 million. I'm sure there's no way that the American people are going to get any of that money back. I'm sure it's a done deal. I'm sure there's just absolutely no way for anything to be reversed. So that just goes to show the system that we're living in. That's the DC swamp, the DC shithole. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for checking it out. See you later.